No, I was there for 2017, but I didn't really have any money, so I didn't want to invest. Okay, London system. Well, we're sticking with the King's Indian here. And we're just gonna develop. Okay, now knight c3, that changes things. Because this is white indicating that they don't want to play d4 opening anymore. Now they want to play e4. So I like playing d5 in this position just to stop that and kind of shut down the knight on c3. F3, bishop g7. And then we're just going to develop here. Alright, h3, let's castle. Yeah, what's this SGBX? You're going to have to explain this. Queen d2. Okay, now it's time to come up with some kind of plan. I mean, typical way of playing the position with the bishop on g7 is just to try to get c5 in. And I think that's a very, very playable move here. We can also play knight e4. This is like a totally reasonable move as well. Take, then knight will come to e5. But I don't really like that one. I feel like I want to play this with c5. So let's do that. We're not really worried if white takes this one. As we open the diagonal, we get knight c6. Always going to have compensation. All right, bishop h6. Let's continue. We can just pile up on the center here, or we can take immediately. Let's pile on, and then if white takes, we'll advance d4. Hey, Chessmaster Fisher, good to see you. I have made chess.com videos. All right, so now we have a couple ideas here. We can develop queen a5, rook d8, bishop f5. A lot of ways to develop the initiative here. Let's play. Can also go bishop e6 actually to strengthen this one. I don't know, a lot of good options here, to be honest. Kind of spoiled for choice. Can even take on d4. Knight takes d4. Go e5. Takes. Then we have a strong center. I kind of like that. Let's go for the center. Go e5. So we're taking the center, we're inviting him to take, so we can go bc, strengthen our center, and get this open b file. That's going to be really useful for the attack. If he doesn't take, if he goes back, then we start getting some tempos with d4 and so on. So take. h4. Yeah, I just don't believe in white's attack here. I think just black has too much control over the board for this to work. So let's see, we can think about shutting it down with h5. Was rook b8. Just ignoring it. It's not like white has huge threat here. h5, take, queen h6 check, king g8. And h7 is defended. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go for the quick counterplay here, just rook b8. It comes with a sneaky threat, queen b6, hitting this one and this one. Though I don't really want to take the f2 pawn, I'm more interested in the b2 pawn. That said, let's threaten mate. And then I'm guessing they want knight a4. Then we can absolutely think about just grabbing this one and then even trading queens like queen f4. I'm not proud, I'll take that pawn. I'll trade federal pollution regulation advice for chess. That's hilarious. And I mean, it's nice to grab a pawn, but I'm actually more excited about trading queens here. Okay, let's take this one. There's a check, but we're gonna go king g8. And doesn't seem like white has a clear follow-up, which is kind of logical. I mean, bishop is on f1, knight is on c3. These are not particularly great pieces. No, not at all, Brian. Actually, I find the crypto talk really interesting. I'm just I'm being conscientious of the YouTube audience that's later watching this and being like, this is supposed to be an educational rapid. Like, why is the guy talking about crypto the whole time? But I'm patiently reading, but focusing on the game. So that can be instructive for the viewers. Okay, so now my dream move is queen f4. So e3, really good move by my opponent. Very good move, because it's stopping the immediate queen trade. We would love to play knight g4, but of course we got to keep in mind h7. So one that makes sense is like rook f7, just defending the pawn, and then we kind of prepare knight g4 next, and we kick the queen and we hit e3. That actually looks pretty annoying to deal with. Another move we can consider is bishop f5, earning mates, probably forcing bishop d3, and actually I don't know if that's so special for us. It just helps white develop, and then he gets rook f1 next. So yeah, I'll this rook f7 move because I like the idea of just kind of overprotecting this one, making sure we're never getting mated, but also setting up really concrete threat, knight g4. Alright, bishop e2. Good move, actually, covering g4 square. White has started to play really well. Now I kind of want to go d4. take, and then again setting up this trade with queen e3 check. And on d4, there's no knight e4 because we'll take. Thankfully, h7 is defended. Yeah, I like this one. Actually, I could have also considered bishop f5. I kind of forgot that we had this move. But, oh no, bishop f5, rook f1. Yeah, here then our queen gets into a little bit of trouble. So takes. Could immediately throw this one in, but I think taking is better, hitting the knight. Rook takes d4. Oh no, that seems like a blunder. We're just gonna take this one. That's too bad. White was just playing actually really, I think, really nice game up until this point. Like, I mean, very tough so far. Why not take on g2? The reason I didn't want to take this one is because like it's a pawn, but like what we're doing is we're opening up the g file for our opponent's pieces, and already actually that just looks extremely dangerous. Like rook g1, queen goes to f2, and then there's going to be rook takes g6, hg, queen h8, checkmate. So super dangerous. Yeah, actually bishop c4 certainly was possible, and then I'm just kind of hoping that my knight can defend my king well enough. All right. Now I think I want to go after this pin. These two moves. White still has no threats on h7. This is really, you know, the MVP in the whole position. It's just rook on f7. This is something I like to think of as like economic defense. You use a rook to defend a pawn that like queen and rook are attacking. So as far as like economically, black is doing quite well here with this rook. Alright, bishop c4. We'll take this one. And now we just have way too much material. This is definitely nice. Yeah, nice construction. Queen d2, okay, that's a blunder. That allows classic mate in one. All right, GG. GG. Okay, d4, we're sticking with the King's Indian. This is good because I haven't had too many King's Indians yet, so I need I need more content for the YouTube. All right, g6. Bishop is going to g7. All right, knight c3. Well, now white wants to play e4, kind of changing the rules. So we're going to go d5 and cover this one. Will Cole, thanks for following. So thanks, Andrew Savior. Okay, knight of 3, castle. Bishop d3. Okay, now it's time to get some counterplay. With this bishop on g7 against all of these d4 sidelines, I really like c5 in these kinds of positions. Ihoner, thanks for following. And the knight can come out to c6 and put some pressure on d4. If white takes this one, we can almost always win it back with a queen a5 move, and it's very hard for white to hold on to that one. Okay, so let's play knight c6. California said, I live in California. Thanks, Brian. Have a good one. Rajvi, thanks for following. Okay, bishop g5, putting some pressure on the knight. We're not too worried about this one. Actually, I might think about going for a bishop g4 here. Let's take once on d4. Probably white takes back with the pawn to keep control over the center. Do I wait until the d and c pawn tension has resolved until I develop the queen? I'm not sure if I'm really thinking about it in those specific terms. I just think once there's kind of no real benefit of keeping this one, I'll just take on d4. Now white decided to take with the knight, which actually allows me to capture the center with e5 here, which I think I'm going to do. I get to hit this guy with tempo, and then if he takes on c6, I'll play bc, strengthen my center. And I'm actually not super worried about this pin here. I'm quite happy to just take the center instead. All right, knight c6, let's take this one. Hey Daniel, how's it going? Rook e1. Okay. So we have a couple of useful moves here. We can make rook b8 just to attack the pawn. We can go h6 here. I like starting with rook b8 in this kind of thing just because we know we want the rook on the open file. And we're just going to see, does white want to play b3 to defend it? Do they want to play rook b1 to defend it? Either way, we kind of get, we improve our rook and we get a little bit of information. Okay, so b3 really weakens this diagonal, right? So the first thing that kind of screams out to me is to just play this move e4 and open up our diagonal. But let's start with h6 actually to kick the bishop, because if we want to get something going here, we're going to have to move our knight. So what's going to happen here? Okay, bishop takes f6. We can take this one either way. I'm going to take with the bishop. And now we're strongly threatening e4 here, which would win a piece. So white goes e4. Okay, good move. Now we've got the two bishops. We have a solid position. I would say we're slightly better here. We're just going to develop our pieces and try to make the most use out of our two bishops. Queen f3. This one is still defended. This one is under a little bit of pressure. I'm just going to pull this guy back. Very, very simple. Just pulling the bishop back, keeping everything protected. Our next move might be like queen to d7. Maybe one day we'll play f5. We can play f5 and just completely take over the center. Actually, we can maybe just play f5 here. That's a lot of pawns, but I feel like our pieces kind of defend everything. So let's do it. Now we're threatening to take and win a piece there with the fork. So ef5, gf5, and then again we have e4. So we're just taking over the center. This has been my thesis for the whole speedrun. Control the center. Control the center, develop your pieces. And yeah, now we're going to take this one. And these pawns are just beautiful. All right, what do we want to do here? I think it's time to just start bringing everything towards the king side. Queen h4, then we go here, then we go here, and then we're just going to play for checkmate. I think Philidor used to do this a lot. He would just get these pawns going. Queen a5 was fine, but this one is actually defended, so you know, white would just have to defend the knight. And yeah, I'd rather focus on the king side here. Okay, let's first get this tempo. Bishop g4. Maybe displace white's queen. I am definitely not concerned about the double pawns. I think double pawns get such a bad rap I mean, black's pawns are incredibly strong, in fact. Like, the pawn chain is good, and this pawn is controlling a lot of dark squares. So we're quite happy with this one. Okay, should we go for Brilliancy Prize with Rook F3? Take, Bishop F1. Second rook comes in. And we just slowly checkmate. Well, that looks pretty good. Let's do it. Of course, unfortunately, Rook F3. Well, I can take here, but then we go here. Probably still pretty good. Let's do it. Brilliancy Prize. I mean, it's totally unnecessary. Oh, actually, it's not even difficult to calculate, because take, bishop f1, we have didn't even realize, actually, king is cut, right? So we're just we don't even need the second rook. But that shows you how bad white's position is that we would have had time to play rook f8, rook f5, and mate the king like this, or even rook h5. Nice attacking idea, actually pretty thematic. You'll see this one in different games. Okay, question. How can I improve my calculation skills and related my open board vision with pieces in the endgame? Good question. Well, there's lots of good calculation books out there. So I'm taking a little bit of time, but yeah, there's lots of books and courses out there specifically on calculation. Chessable actually has some really good courses on visualization. That might be useful. So yeah, we got queen g4 check here. My original idea was just this one, which also kind of works. The point is, I mean, when you control the center like this, you're just dominant. Like, you know, white can't do anything. I could literally play any move and we're completely winning here. But let's not slow roll it too bad. Let's play queen g4 check and end the game. You can pre-move this one. Okay, GG Peter, GG. All right, sticking to the King's Indian here. We're very much getting into the 1500s now. That's cool. Knight f3, let's castle. Castles, okay, now we can develop our position in different ways. I'm gonna go with kind of a typical King's Indian setup here. And actually we'll play knight c6, and we'll play for e5. Okay, b4. We have e5, b5, knight e7, take, knight takes e5. I think we'll be able to take advantage of that knight on the diagonal. So let's go e5. Okay, takes. Let's take. Bishop b2. All right, yeah, white is playing really solid. I think we're going to advance this one now, take some space. Is kid modern or hyper modern? Man, what's the difference? What's the difference? Okay, knight d4. We can trade here, or we can go knight e5. Yeah, I like this knight e5 move. Okay, knight d2. White playing really fast. Now we have kind of a, I would say, a pretty decent setup here. behind this pawn, we're going to be trying to often attack on the king side, like h5 here is a very reasonable move, followed by bishop g4, this kind of plan. We can also try to use this d3 square with knight to d3 in a plan of like rook d8 and maybe even breaking with c5. So yeah, a lot of good options for us here actually. I'm not sure what to do. Let's start with h5, because we do have kind of a King's Indian attack type of setup. And we can think about playing for the initiative here. And now my idea with this one actually is just to trade off the bishops and collect the d3 square. So let's drop our knight in here. Rook c2. And my first instinct is to play c5 and kind of wreck the structure. We can also start with knight d7 first, and try to get the second knight to e5 as well. Yeah, let's just play the immediate c5. This seems good to me. Is black already better? I think black has been better for some time. Now if queen takes c5, we have to be a little bit careful here. Knight e4, knight e4, queen d3. White wins a pawn. So I'm just going to take back with the knight, keep a very solid structure. And now we're just playing positionally. We're not really worried about the king side anymore. I just want to go rook fd8, rook ac8, and focus on dominating a lot of these weak squares here. All right, white is kind of messing around. And then we're going to go knight. We're going to jump back with the knight very soon. Bishop c3. I guess white wants to do this one maybe. All right, let's bring the knight back to d3. F3. Okay, makes sense. He wants to undermine the knight, but this move does weaken the position. Okay, if we take, queen takes d3, I don't see a move for us there, so I'm actually tempted to just draw back again. Either knight c5 or knight e5 actually is possible also. Yeah, let's go knight e5 actually. I kind of like this move. I'll let white take on e4, but at the cost of doubling his pawns, and then we can focus on the c pawn. Can also take on a3 here just to start. Actually, yeah, let's get our pawn back right away. Why not? If bishop b4, we can go queen d3. If rook b3, then we'll just pull back queen e7 and defend the b pawn. Okay, bishop went to b2. Think about queen d3 here. Also pull the queen back. Let's pull the queen back. Let's just keep our queen super annoying. What about trying to get a knight to g3? I don't know. I mean, yeah, it takes a lot of moves, right? Like h4, knight h5, and then white can just ignore it or avoid it, you know? I think it was a possible plan, but maybe not the most flexible one. Okay, this allows us to take this guy. Yeah, let's do it. And now actually we are getting to g3. So now, now if knight g3 happens, I definitely won't complain. Okay, queen f3. I think this allows knight d2 fork. Gruely, thanks for following. And that's going to be getting us closer to our win. Okay, yeah, resigned there because he hung the queen. GG. Like how on Pictus. And we're playing the King's Indian here. I didn't see the coverage, but yeah, I really like both David Howell and Jovanka. They're both great. Hey Daster, actually I just didn't see your challenge. I don't know why. I think you might have to resend it. Like it wasn't in my list. So I figured you might have left. Okay, D3. So white is also playing like a King's Indian. Against this one, I like to just take the space. If white isn't gonna play white, then I'll do it. I'll do it for them. Okay. Okay, knight d2. In this position, I actually kind of like this line with knight c6. I feel like this is a interesting way for black to play this position. Okay, white goes c4. This allows us to take some space with d4. I think I'll do that. And we're actually getting kind of a reverse d4 position. Okay, e3, thematic. But it does let me take and then snag this pawn, which is a key drawback of having the knight on d2. See, this is what the opening nuances come down to. Normally e3 is like a very normal move in the Benoni, but here I think that's just gonna be a pawn. And we have a no tolerance policy here on this speedrun, as you guys know. No tolerance policy. If we see material, we take it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I'll be nice to you on stream, but not over the chessboard. For your own benefit, of course. Okay, now we have really active position. We have very pleasant choice here between knight g4 and knight b4. Okay, knight b4, bishop f1. I don't think we're gonna get knight c2 exactly, so I think this is more of a gimmick move. Knight g4 though might be kind of annoying. Bishop f1. Knight takes e3, bishop takes d3, yeah, losing material there. So I think our queen is getting kicked here one way or the other. We could try knight b4 and then queen c2. That actually looks kind of interesting. Knight d4 and white will kick us out. Yeah, let's just keep our stuff on the board. Let's not go too crazy too quickly. Napper239, thanks for following. Maybe let's go bishop g4 here. Just to develop, actually, just to be a little bit unpleasant, kind of try to induce white to play h3 and weaken the g pawn, opening up rook a d8. Yeah, I like our position here. Okay, we got another prediction. Oh, in the Sunday tournament, one guy gave a take back. Nice, nice. Vinny Pepperoni. Classic. Yeah, Mitch, we're just following one game right now, so I'm gonna play a couple games and then we'll come back to it. Okay, who will give the first check? Nice, that's the next prediction. That's a tough one because, you know, you might think I would do it, but on the other hand, a lot of times, you know, people throw out checks in the opening, like bishop b5 check, bishop b4 check. You don't know. Hard to say. Okay, bishop f1. So I want to pull my queen back. I was thinking this square is kind of nice, because now on h3 we're always hitting this one, and we have some ideas here, maybe like targeting the king side, because of course white structure is quite weak and we're going to be playing against the structure. Maybe rook d8, knight e5, and yeah, trying to put some pressure. Alright, bishop e2. 2700 to 1 favorite. Oh boy. Bishop e2. Okay, we couple different options here. I think the simplest move is just rook a d8, just getting the rook in, putting some pressure. Now if white ever moves this knight and exposes the queen, white will have to think about moves like queen e6 and opening up the rook, so it's going to be a little bit dangerous. King g2. Wait, how does it work? So the entire pot is split? Does that mean if someone puts in 10k and then everyone else puts in like a little bit, then don't you lose regardless whether you win or not? Now I'm thinking about this move. e5, e4. Yeah, it looks very dangerous. Let's advance, take some space. Oh, okay, so you still get 70% of the winning amount. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if you put in 70. All right, knight g1. So offering a trade, which we can definitely consider, or we can just play like kind of annoying positional move h5. Defending the bishop and saying if white wants to take, then we're going to recapture with the pawn and take some space, or maybe even with the knight. Yeah, let's play this one actually. I like this one because I don't mind trading off this bishop. This leaves white with a lot of weaknesses on the light squares, so we're going to be okay with that. Then white's left with this bishop that can go to b3, but is going to need some time to do so, and is going to have a hard time moving when knight on d2 is under attack. So we're happy to trade off one of white's better pieces here. Yeah, unfortunately mods can't bet because mods can also decide the result. It might make, although I trust Braden, I'm sure he'd be quite ethical. Okay, so now we'll take, no problem. Now that we got white to weaken the g3 square, we could have also pulled back. I think that would have been reasonable as well. Let's see here, if we push e4, we allow knight to come into f4. So we do want to keep kind of fishing here for the initiative. We also have this move, knight e4 actually. That might just win material on the spot. If knight takes, we take twice on d1 and we win the exchange. And otherwise we're threatening to take twice on d2, 3 times actually. Yeah, let's do it. Nice tactic. You don't really see this kind of pin too often. Wow, Seth, 80,000 in dojo gold. Now, is that because you got lucky one of these other nights, or are you just a super loyal fan? I feel like you're just very loyal. I feel like I've seen you in many streams. Is the audio delayed? Oh, that's weird. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let me know how much, because I can delay it. I can delay the video. Oh, knight e4. All right, let's take on d1. So the audio needs delay. Okay. I can do that. So this is, wait, how many milliseconds? 500 milliseconds? 50 milliseconds? What's half a second? How many, what is half a second in milliseconds? 500, right? 500, okay. All right, I'm gonna try 500-second delay here. So let me know if that's better. All right, thank you guys, thank you. Knight d2. Okay, let's go recap. Well, I thought 1,000, yeah, milliseconds. That makes sense. So now we're threatening this one or this one. Okay, I can do a little bit more. This is gonna be 700, and let's take this way. Actually, excuse me, this is stronger. We're gonna pick up this one. Good now, awesome. Yeah, sorry we didn't figure it out earlier. Okay. So let's just open things up. This is a very typical King's Indian move. I'm often just flinging the pawn. We can open up this one. And then we'll take here, or maybe go here. Knight e5. It's all over. Yeah, let's bring our knight in and start boxing up White's king. That's cool, Brayden. I can always edit it for YouTube. Okay, king f2. Now let's get the rook in. It takes b7. All right, we'll come here. And we're gonna come in one of these squares. Okay, let's first trap this knight at a dream distance. And then we're just gonna run our... Actually, we can start setting up a checkmate with our pieces. Let's bring the knight in. Hey, Gracia, thanks for following. And we're just setting up a final checkmate here. Should be able to do it with 3 pieces. I'll use the king if I need. Okay, let's start bringing the knight in. Okay, surely we have mate here. No, we're letting the king out of the box. Alright, let's take this one. Come here. Not this way. And that'll do it. GG.